Witherspoon.
I'm Alan Ackerman.
I'm Robert Pattinson. You're watching Made in Hollywood.
Made in Hollywood.
Made in Hollywood. And you're watching Made in Hollywood.
Made in Hollywood.
Based on the #1 acclaimed best-selling book, Water for Elephants presents an epic tale of forbidden love in a magical place filled with adventure, wonder, and great danger.
Hi, I'm Robert Pattinson. You're watching Made in Hollywood, and here's a clip from my new movie, Water for Elephants.
Excuse me, sir, can we help you?
You know circuses?
1931. It was the Benzini brothers.
That's the most famous circus disaster of all time.
Are you telling me that you were there for...
Right in the middle of it.
Who is Marlena to August, and do you believe he truly loved her?
I think Marlene and August have a very complicated relationship. Obviously, there's an abusive element to that relationship that's, I think very deeply psychological. I think that my character has a hard time figuring out why and what's happening in her relationship, which is, I think, pretty typical of violent, abusive relationships.
The romantic aspect is not really the most important one in this relationship. If someone has to run a circus that is on the verge of dying, I don't know whether he's too much concerned about true love or, I think he's more concerned with trying to make the ends meet and provide for 200-300 people.
Any living creature needs to know who's in charge. They can sense when a man's power is full strength.
August only sees the world in terms of the savagery of it and the dog-eat-dog nature of his life.
When a man's power is not.
And refuses to see anything else to the world. Which, I guess that's what makes him dangerous. And Jacob just refuses to accept that that's the only thing there is to the world, that everyone's going to stab each other in the back.
You're a beautiful woman. You deserve a beautiful life.
I think he does love her. He's just a complicated person. I think he probably has a lot of problems. And, my character's very lucky that she has an opportunity at a second chance in life.
Who's the woman who works with the horses?
That ain't no woman. That's the boss's wife, and she don't talk to nobody, and you don't talk to her.
Why does Jacob end up with the circus?
Totally by accident, really. He really just has to change. He has to basically just get out of his. He needs to get a job. Basically, he needs to find a new life, and jumps on it. He basically loses all his money and loses all his family's money, and has nothing left where he's from, to the extent where he would literally be on the street. So he's jumping on the train like your typical hobo, really, and luckily it actually ends up being a lucky train. It's a circus train, so yeah, it's good for him.
You do right by me, I'll show you a life most suckers can't even dream of.
To all we love.
Well, I have to say, I absolutely love this movie. And I love the visual aspect of the film. It was fantastic. And I also know you're going to be asked, probably for the rest of your life, what it was like dealing with the animals. So I'm very curious, as an actress, what do you want to share about your experience training, working with the animals, getting so high up on that elephant? I was like, whoa! When I saw that.
Well, it was one of the biggest accomplishments of my career, because it was a very physical part for me, and I'm not used to that, and I worked for 5 months circus school and on the elephant and learning the choreography, and then riding the horses, and it was something I never thought I could do. And then when I actually did it in the film, I feel like I was so proud of myself.
On the train, it's difficult. I mean, because you could, especially when I was working with Ty, who plays Rosie. She's so huge, and being in tiny train compartments, especially when we were actually moving, you could tell that it did make her a little bit nervous.
Yeah, this is Ty, and she plays Rosie in Water for Elephants. We've had her a long time. She's been in a lot of different movies, commercials. She does a lot of live shows. And I think the most important thing with animals, or probably even with people, is to be consistent day in and day out, day in and day out. and that's probably hard for a lot of people.
In the preparation period before we started shooting, I was a little worried that she might misunderstand, because I thought, how does she know the difference, you know, between a regular idiot and somebody who just pretends to be an idiot, you know? Gary, her trainer, he taught her that this is an act. She understood. You know, so she was used to someone acting like he's beating her.
Stein.
She wasn't touched, don't worry.
You break my law, you have to pay a penalty.
The choreographer was amazing, and his name is Sebastian, and he's done so much choreography for Cirque du Soleil and different shows in Las Vegas, and he just conveyed that sort of magic of the circus, and he taught me how to be a circus performer.
There's a better life is meant for you.
I'm a star, George. Out there, I got nothing.
Looking at Marlena, who is married, how would you describe Marlena and Jacob's relationship?
I think in a lot of ways he idolizes her, like, very, very quickly. I mean, he grew up on a farm, basically, and has never really been able to sort of touch or be that close to that kind of glamour. I mean, she seems like a kind of angel to him. But the more he knows her, it doesn't fade. The more he knows her, it kind of gets more intense for him. I mean, he just thinks she's like a magical person, and that's why it shows in her performance.